From the WKYT studios in Lexington, this is Kentucky Newsmakers with Bill Bryant.
Good morning from WKYT News. We certainly hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Later, Alan Stein has worn many hats in Lexington, and most recently, he oversaw the redistricting committee that has drawn up new lines for schools. We'll be talking with him about that challenge and how the committee made its decisions, some tough ones. Alan Stein a little later. But first, it's a very busy time at Keeneland. The spring meet is heading into its final week, and big crowds are showing up for some exciting races despite the tough weather we've had. And while the historic track is buzzing, plans are being made quickly to construct a new quarter horse track in southern Kentucky. It's to be called Thunder Gap, and it will be located in Corbin. That track is projected to create some 2,000 jobs, bring millions of dollars into that region, and as the project rolls out, Keeneland leaders are also preparing to host the Breeders' Cup this fall. So it's a very busy time, and Keeneland's Vice President and Chief Operating Officer Vince Gabbard is joining us this morning, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me on, Bill.
Well, let's talk about, first of all, as I said, what a busy time. You're having a successful meet despite having to contend with a lot of rain this April.
Yeah, I think we're ahead of our normal April totals by about 9.5, 10 inches right now, and so we've battled that. But the racing could not be better. The crowds have weathered it. The meet has been very strong, so we're off to a good start and looking for a last good couple days this week.
It looks like pretty good weather for the rest of the week. So,
I think so. Yeah, last couple days of racing will be great.
Well, while the horses are running here, you're planning for the future, and Keeneland is now rushing to get started on a quarter horse track in southeastern Kentucky. What can you tell us about that project? Obviously a lot more now than you could the last time you were here.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot of ground this the last several months. We are actually moving a license that's currently in Prestonsburg, Kentucky, and have selected a site in Corbin that we're going to open up a quarter horse track, a racing part of the country that we feel like is underserved. Great quarter horse population in this state and the surrounding states, and we are very excited about this project and what it means not only for the quarter horse breed but for our industry as a whole, as well as the entire Commonwealth.
How is a quarter horse different from a thoroughbred?
The biggest thing is the distance that they race. The track that we're going to construct is going to be a straightaway, literally a drag strip, and these are the fastest horses at a quarter mile. And so we're going to run a lot of 440-yard races down there that'll take about 20 seconds for a race. It's very exciting, and it's just a straight stretch and as fast as you can go.
So it's like a sprint.
It is. It is a true sprint.
So at this point, tell us about the track, what it will be like, why you chose that location.
You know, we felt like that area of the state was really, there was no competition, first of all, and with the unique feature of quarter horse racing, this provided a really good setting and a backdrop. The people and the local and state officials in the southeast Kentucky could not be more welcoming, could not be more helpful with what we've got designed. The track itself will be very much modeled from a smaller festival type race meet setting that we have at Keeneland, and we want to create a similar structure so that we give people a destination especially during the summer months when we'll have live racing, to be able to come and enjoy this sport.
What are your projections in terms of the economic impact it's likely to have on that area?
Extremely significant. Even with generally around 150 full-time jobs that we'll have just at that facility, all of our studies that we've had done are showing about 2,000 spin-off direct and indirect jobs and nearly $10 million in state and local tax impact just over a 5-year period.
So you will have both full-time employees and some that will be seasonal that will come during the meets?
We will, just like we do at Keeneland. We've got approximately 200 full-time employees, but during the race meets we ramp up to about 2,000 people at Keeneland. Those numbers won't be quite that much during the seasonal standpoint, just because the race meets will be smaller, but we will have a significant ramp-up of seasonal employees in that area.
You said you're getting good cooperation from the local leaders there. Are you leaning on the state for any incentives to go?
We've got a number of incentives that would qualify for. As you know, the Keeneland mission is always to be a great community partner, and so we want to be cognizant of everything that we can do for the community and for Corbin and the surrounding areas as well. So we're working through that, but there are definitely incentives that we qualify for that we feel like that would be good and will help enhance the project.
You speak of a surrounding area that is off I-75, and yet I-75 is the big road that is nearby. Do you anticipate that entire region can take advantage of this brand?
Absolutely. I think that from the minute that passerbys hit the corridor and come across the state line, and they're going back and forth. Our site's about 3.3 miles off of 75 as you come off the southern Corbin exit, but I think that from Whitley County all the way up past Laurel County will very much feel the impact of this racetrack.
Why Thunder Gap as a name, and to what extent will that brand stand on its own, and to what extent will will it be Keeneland's Thunder Gap, or will Keeneland be an obvious part of the brand?
I think that people will see a lot of the touches and feel and the operations that we have at Keeneland, but the brand will very much stand on its own. The Thunder Gap kind of is a combination. We wanted to play off the Cumberland Gap theme, and with the quarter horses, kind of the thunder of the quarter horse hooves is a big deal. So we wanted to kind of marry that brand. The brand will stand on its own very much, but the mission and the philosophy and how we run the place will be very much like Keeneland. The community centered. It will be run with that same mission, that everything goes back into the industry, the facility, and the community, just like we do at Keeneland.
So there will be some year-round operations, just as there are at Keeneland here.
There will, and we'll have a full-time entertainment facility so that we can host community events, be part and parcel of everything that's going on within the community.
Now, this is being built in what was going to be an industrial park.
Yes, sir.
And I guess some of it still used for that purpose, but there are sites that could also be developed for hotels, restaurants, other things?
There is. We've got approximately 150 acres that we've currently got under option as our site, and we want to develop that, and it'll be done in phases. Like any smart development, we want it to be done right, and we want to bring in the right partners and be able to develop it so that we can provide all the amenities that people want as a destination resort.
What kind of workforce do you think you'll be looking for?
It'll be all kinds, honestly. We'll have everybody. We'll be looking for executives to help us operate the track, but just like that we have at Keeneland, a lot of skilled craftsmen, a lot of people that can work maintenance, building services, those sorts of things that are very skilled, but labor that will run the gamut for us.
Highly regulated industry.
Yes, sir.
I know you've had some hoops to jump through, and there still are some more obstacles, right, before you can turn some dirt.
There are. The biggest thing that we've got left to do is get the relocation application approved by the State Racing Commission. We've been working with them very closely, but like I said, the state and local officials could not be more welcoming, could not be more hopeful of this project, and they are as supportive as we are enthusiastic about the project.
All right, we are going to talk about what is going on at the original Keeneland during this meet, and also about the Breeders' Cup, the exciting event that's coming later in the year, when we come back on WKYT's Kentucky Newsmakers. Welcome back into Kentucky Newsmakers on WKYT. We're learning about some future plans for Keeneland, including a new racetrack, a quarter horse track to be built near Corbin in southeastern Kentucky. Vince Gabbard is Vice President of Keeneland and is joining us today to talk about that. And we've been discussing what you have planned down there. There will also be an instant racing facility that will be part of that. You're also hoping at some point to have a facility in Lexington as well. Where do things stand on that legally?
There is a narrow issue that's back on appeal. The Supreme Court has already ruled towards the legality of the Racing Commission implementing the regulations that allow instant racing. And there's a very narrow issue that's back on appeal before the Franklin Circuit Court. We're just waiting on the timing on that, and it's currently in the evidentiary phase in order to get all the information that the Circuit Court is needing to make those decisions. But because of the narrow issue that is back on appeal, we feel confident, and we feel confident enough to move forward on these projects, especially the one that we have already ongoing here in Lexington at the Red Mile.
As you know, House Speaker Greg Stumbo's indicated he will reintroduce an expanded gaming bill next year. Do you encourage its passage?
You know, we have not seen any of the details on it. We've always said at Keeneland that if we have any sort of expanded gaming, we just want to make sure that it's done the right way, so that it protects the industry as well as our communities. And so we'll continue to monitor it and make sure that if it does get introduced, that we're working with the speaker to ensure that it's something that's palatable for our business. But we've always said that it's not something that we have to have, but if it's done, we just want it to be done the right way.
All right, back to this ongoing meet that will go the rest of this coming week. Despite the rain, you're hoping to get some good numbers, but you've got just a little bit of a come from behind. You're going to have to come around the rail on this one, aren't you?
We are. We're definitely a closer on this one. So we're hoping for a strong last week. You know, the quality of horses has been phenomenal since we made the surface change to the dirt. We've already seen, we moved the Bluegrass Stakes up 1 week, and so with the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes running open weekend, the horse that won it was a horse by the name of Carpe Diem. That'll probably be the #3 betting choice for the Kentucky Derby, and really puts us back in where the Bluegrass deserves to be from a limelight standpoint, and a hopeful Kentucky Derby winner coming up.
Is that why it was moved earlier, so to give that horse some more time off?
It is. You know, the trainers over time, you know, the Bluegrass used to be, not too many years ago, 9 days away from the Derby, and had a lot of Bluegrass winners that went on even at 9 days.
Tired.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Right.
But trainers have changed their tactics, and they, you know, horses are not running every 2-3 weeks the way that they used to, especially the bigger horses. And so the timing and the surface change, we increased the purse, all of that was factors in that hoping that we would have some strong contenders for the Derby.
Well, the Breeders' Cup, obviously a very prestigious event and an awesome challenge to host here in Lexington, and that's coming up in the fall. What can people expect?
I think that people can expect a great experience. You know, we're hopeful that every day that people come out to Keeneland, they feel the enthusiasm that our staff does and all of our seasonal employees do. We've really focused on trying to provide a great experience. So we're going to have a lot of temporary seating, a lot of upscale amenities that we're going to be offering for Breeders' Cup. Tickets are for all the trackside seating is already sold out. Sold out within 3 days. First sellout that Breeders' Cup has ever had. And even though our capacities are going to be at or above what they've had at Santa Anita and other venues, we feel like that we're really going to focus on that experience, and we want people to just come out and enjoy the event and really focus on providing a great product.
So people will still be able to come out around the track, even though the tickets are sold.
They will. We'll have some general admission tickets that will allow people. There won't be the day of tickets that people are used to at Keeneland, but we've got the hill our tailgate lot that we've got used, as well as the sales pavilion entertainment center that we're also selling as dining options.
You'll have an amazing amount of work to do between the fall meet and Breeders' Cup, won't you?
We will. We're actually, the construction on the temporary facilities will actually start around July 10th. So all the tents, and we call them tents, they're huge buildings, they're chalets, but the tents and double-deckers and triple-deckers will begin construction in July. And then the race meet will actually end on the 24th of October. And so beginning that Saturday night, we'll be turning the place purple, so to speak, the Breeders' Cup color for the preparation for that week.
Will there be some temporary job opportunities or volunteer opportunities for people during the Breeders' Cup?
There will be a significant amount. Check our website for that, but we are already in the recruitment mode for additional guest services staff and people to help us with parking and those kinds of things that we'll need. So there'll be a number of opportunities from a volunteer and a paid staff standpoint.
It has been very impressive the way Keeneland has embraced tradition and the tradition of horse racing, but at the same time you've moved ahead with Instagram and social media, and the kids are enjoying that and learning to love racing all anew. Will you attempt to bring the Breeders' Cup along the same way?
We will, and really Breeders' Cup has been a great partner with us. You know, their headquarters are here in Lexington, so the working relationship could not be better between the two entities. Very like-minded in our approaches to the business, and they've been very welcoming with some of the ideas that we have, and it's been a really great back and forth with the kind of product that we want to offer, the kind of product that will be on TV, what people will see on the simulcast signal, what people will see live that is produced those 2 nights.
You worked some in state government, you've done some other things. When you look at a situation, here you are, the end of the Keeneland meet, the Kentucky Derby is on its way to the Commonwealth. The Breeders' Cup is going to be here in Lexington. I mean, it's a pretty nice job, isn't it?
It is a phenomenal job, Bill. I tell you, there is never a day that I pull up to the gates of Keeneland that it doesn't put you in a good mood. And there's nothing better. The people are great. There's no other job where you get to work with everybody from every single socioeconomic level, and all of them love the horse and they love being at Keeneland. And it's so rewarding and so refreshing for a guy like me to be able to be there.
All right, Vince Gabbard, we appreciate you very much coming in today. Thank you.
Bill.
And coming next, Alan Stein talks about the tough time it was in doing the redistricting of Fayette County schools. Back with that on Kentucky Newsmakers in just a moment. Welcome back into WKYT and Kentucky Newsmakers. It has been a long and at times emotional process as Fayette County's redistricting committee has been redrawing the lines that decide where students attend school. It was anticipated all along it would be a tough task, and Alan Stein, a veteran of business and community affairs, was brought in as chairman. Now, after meeting for months, the plan is out on its way to the full Fayette County School Board for consideration. Alan Stein joining us to talk about the task completed and what's ahead in the fast-growing school district. Alan, welcome. It's good to see you.
Thanks to invite me, Bill. I appreciate being here.
And fast-growing is really what's behind all of this, right?
It is indeed. The process was begun as a result of 3 new schools being built and opened, 2 elementary schools in 2016 and a high school in 2017. And the main purpose was to figure out how to populate those new schools. But while we're at it, the school board decided, let's take a look at the entire district and try to respond to what they called guiding principles, which they gave to our committee and asked us to examine all of them in the context of where all our children go to school.
So what were the factors that you were trying to balance and work through as you did those redistricting maps?
You know, it's very interesting. Those guiding principles were all very important. The school board members told us that they were all equal. None were to be prioritized. But in some cases, we found very early on that they were contradictory. They included things about like capacity, overcrowding, with a subset of trying to get rid of as many portables in the school as we could, balancing socioeconomic diversity throughout our school system. Other principles included trying to keep neighborhoods intact, going to the same schools and the same feeder patterns if they could, all the way through high school. Wanted to give much credence to walkability. If you were within a mile, we wanted to try to put you into the closest school. They asked us to take a look at transportation costs and busing. There were any number of other things. And so one of the things that we found in Lexington was the contradiction of, for example, putting all children in the nearest school while still trying to maintain not going over 100% capacity in that school. Well, that's not the way houses are built in Lexington. That's not the way our folks in this community live. And having a socioeconomic balance, 53% of the children in Fayette County Public Schools receive either free or reduced lunch plans and meal plans. That would say, given that one guiding principle, that every school in Fayette County ought to have 53% of free and reduced lunch students. Well, you can't do that at the same time of trying to have every child go to the same school, because that's just not the way people live in our community.
How hard did you work to get input from all facets of the community? As you know, there is some criticism already, and there will be some presentation to the school board saying that the socioeconomic piece was not addressed thoroughly.
Well, I do want to address that, but first let me answer your question. We worked very hard, of course. Our committee was put together by the school board, not by us, and it included all walks of life from our community. It included business people, but also home builders and realtors, but at the same time, representatives of the Human Rights Commission, the Equity Council, the Commerce Lexington. We had principals, we had PTA members, we had site-based council members, we had teachers. It was a broad base of community folks, and all of them, including, by the way, the planning staff was represented from LFUCG, was represented, as was the property valuation administrator. So we had all the information that we could gather from all over. So we worked very hard to include virtually everyone we could. The process bill was, from the beginning, we determined that it ought to be open and transparent. Frankly, I've never been a part of a public, and I've done a lot of things, I've never been a part of a more publicly open process than this. Every single one of our meetings was open to the public, every one. And we met for over a year, dozens and dozens and dozens of meetings. We recorded every one of our meetings so folks could go go onto the website and watch them if they couldn't come to the meetings. We did a report after every meeting that went out to 65,000 people. We made it as transparent as we could.
So does it surprise you at the end of the day that there are some who do not like the lines?
Not at all. There's no way that you can have a perfect plan that is going to suit everyone. In fact, it's almost like a Rubik's Cube. Every determination of where a line ought to be impacts someone positively and or negatively, but they are pretty much in conjunction with each other. So every move had a corresponding move. You're going to make some people unhappy and others are going to become very happy, but our goal was to disrupt as few people and families and students in our community as we could, and I think we succeeded in that.
You mentioned real estate people and builders were involved.
Right.
Real estate values, how much of a consideration, how much pressure did you get from those groups to draw those lines in a certain way?
Those are two questions.
All right.
All right. The first question is, how much pressure did we get? We got a lot from folks who had interests, whether they be developers or real estate folks or people concerned about their own home property values. But the answer to the second question was, how much did we take it into consideration? Frankly and very candidly, not very much at all. It was not one of the guiding principles to protect home property values or developers' fees or anything else. It was about the kids. And frankly, at the end of the day, Bill, there's a lot of data that suggests that it's only anecdotal that property values change dramatically anyway, and by the third to fifth year, they go away completely and balance out. But it's also a zero-sum game. If a property value is perceived to be affected positively or negative by a school district, wherever those lines are changed are going to have the same effect, positive or negative. So it's a zero-sum game.
How long was it anticipated these lines would be in place for? Is this something that would be done on a regular basis?
Well, we were challenged to look through at least the 2018-19 year, but our committee went beyond that. And we believe we have redistricted that will hold at least through the 2020-21 school year. And I would tell you that we used a lot of projected numbers that we think statistically were correct to anticipate where growth in our community was going to be and where diminution of aging populations would be. So I think we did a pretty good job of looking forward, but clearly when we build new schools, and we will, there'll be a new elementary school before 2020. There clearly will be a new middle school, but that wasn't in our charge. We have districted based on what we know is going to be there through 2020.
It's on to the school board now.
That's correct.
And what do you anticipate they will do?
Well, they have a lot of options. The school board will take a look at our recommendations, and that's all that our committee came up with were recommendations and lines being drawn. They'll look at it. They can either accept it, they can reject it, or they can tweak it however they so choose. We invited the public to a session after we made our final report and asked the public to come, and I had the school board members there so that they could hear some of these concerns. So, they're obviously hearing from some neighborhoods who are not happy with the results, but frankly, that's not very many. When you get right down to it. We've got 43,000 kids, and although the final numbers are in, we've probably only impacted somewhere between 4,000 and 6,000 students, and keeping in mind that 2,400 of them are to populate these three new schools. So there aren't a whole lot of people that have been moved, but we understand how serious it is when it's your family or your child going someplace that you might not want to go.
What did you learn during this process?
Oh, we learned a lot. and what the most important thing that we learned is that people, and this is not new, people really care about their schools, and they really care about how the school system perceives their children and their families. That's a good thing. What we hope we have done is inspire some new ideas that will bring even more parental influence and engagement into our schools. A couple of programs that have already happened as a result of this. The one that I'd like to point out was on the front page of the Herald Leader. One of our committee members, Julie Wallace, and some of her compatriots at Athens-Charlesburg Elementary, through our work, found a group in Texas who started a program called Sister Schools, where the parents and PTA and site-based council paired up one affluent school with one low poverty school. In this case, it's ACE and Yates. They combine their resources, so their fundraising, their volunteering are shared in both of these schools to the benefit of both of them. That's a wonderful program. The more parental engagement we get in our schools, the better. The one final thing that I learned, Bill, is that, unless you're the top 0.5% of students in Fayette County, it doesn't matter where you go to school. You can learn to the best of your ability, to your maximum capacity at any school in Fayette County. Irrespective of what the numbers say about the school overall, you have the opportunity to excel and compete in the world.
Alan Stein, thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
You bet, Bill.
Chaired the redistricting committee, and it has been a tough task, but certainly that report is now in the hands of the school board. That is Kentucky Newsmakers. We want to thank you very much for joining us. We hope you'll join us bright and early, Monday through Friday, for WKYT This Morning, and hope you have a good week ahead.